Hey everybody, I'm going to wait till people start coming in, but I want to thank you for joining me tonight with Tuesdays with Tyear. I am so happy to be your host tonight for a really important topic that I think everybody can relate to. So we're going to wait till some people come in, and when you come in, show me some love. Let me know that you're there. If you'd like, let me know what city you're from, and we're going to get started in just a minute. Hey everybody. Hey, let me know who you are. Type me something. Let me know who you are. Make sure that you push the share button. We've got a great topic tonight. We're going to talk about how to find Mr. and Miss Right. You know you want to know, because I sure wanted to know. We're going to let some more people come on in, and we're going to get started. Where you from? Let me know where you're from. Let me know who you are. Hey, John, how are you? Hope all is well with you and the family. I never got a chance to say congrats on the new edition. Congratulations. I've got a really special guest tonight. I cannot wait to introduce you to this person. Pretty cool. Really smart, too. And so we're going to talk about relationships. They know a little something about relationships. They've been in a long-term relationship for a long time. I think they've probably been in a relationship longer than I've been alive. Well, no, I can't say that, but real close. We're going to get started in just a few seconds. All right. You're welcome. John, you're back in Atlanta? I thought you were in Las Vegas. Well, welcome back. Well, to those of you all who have no clue as to who I am Tyear McCrary. I am the person behind Tuesdays with Tyear, and this is what we have candid conversation about topics that are relevant to you. I mean, there is nothing that is off limits that we're going to talk about, and I'm so glad that you joined us. We're going to be here every single Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so make sure that you push that share button and you let somebody that you know needs some relationship advice, needs some business advice, need whatever advice I'm giving that week. And there is a system. So on the second week, we're going to always talk about relationships. Last week, we talked about talking to you and empowering you. This week is about relationships. Next week, it'll be about something else, and I'll let you know as we come up with those topics. And of course, if you've got some suggestions you want to do, you want me to cover, you got any questions about anything that we're talking about, please do me a favor and either inbox me. I do check my spam mail, and or you can just write below, and I will deal with your questions right on air. Well, I guess we need to get started, right? Yeah, I think we need to get started, because this is a topic that I have been listening about. You know, one of the things that I noticed on television has been an unfortunate relationship that's been broken up, and that was with Ed Hartwell and Keisha Knight Pulliam Hartwell. And one of the challenges with them is that their life is all on, you know, social media. Their marriage is out loud, and the challenge is that in order for them to go through this and really heal like they needed to, they couldn't, because they had too many people in their business. But here was the other thing. I don't personally believe, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't know them personally, but I don't believe that they were really ready to find or to be in a relationship just yet. I think they moved just a little bit too soon. And some of you all, I'm going to share my story of how I would do what I did again when I decided to get married, but I would have slowed down a little bit. And so we're going to talk about that as well. But one of the things about the Hartwells is that he left her. She's not only pregnant, but he left her, and there was no prenup. There was no understanding about a realistic view of what this relationship was going to be about. And oftentimes people get into those same situations where they don't really realize what it is that they're getting into. I mean, the concept of love is so wonderful. The concept of having somebody to come home to is amazing. The concept of having somebody till death do you part is wonderful. To have somebody to dress alike, if you one of those kind of couples, or to have somebody just to come in and just, share the day of the work of the day, and talk to them and let them know, hey, I need to talk to you, and just know that they're there for you. But many times it's hard finding that right person. I mean, think about it. We all want to have love. Everybody deserves love. I mean, the Bible says that God so loved the world, he's given it to us. But sometimes it's like, God, I need my piece of the pie down here on earth. I know that's right, right? And so I wanted to, before I go into this any more further, I actually wanted to bring in a special guest because they're going to help me talk about tonight's topic. I was going to do it by myself, but I thought this would be a great time to introduce this person and let them know, and let you know and let you see how they think as well. So I want to introduce you to the mister. That's the mister. He going to come in. He's been sitting here all this time, and we're going to really talk about what the issues are in modern day relationships. How do you find Mr. Right? How do you find Miss Right? Or are you looking for Mr. Right now or Miss Right now? You know, and so I know that you all are looking for somebody that's permanent. There's a lot of people who have gone through divorces. There's a lot of people who have bad relationships. There's a lot of people that are in toxic relationships. And one of the common denominator about any relationship you get in is you. You have to make sure that you have some expectations that are reasonable and that you meet their expectations that other person needs as well. So check this out. Let's start with number one. And this is a great time for you to take the time to write down some notes, because I think this stuff is going to be kind of noteworthy. And even if you don't take it for yourself, you need to write it down for somebody you know, because somebody at your job, you know, they think they the guru of relationships and they don't have no clue. And they always trying to counsel you about how to get you a man or how to get you a woman, and they just jacked up and well, I probably shouldn't say that, but they really jacked up themselves. And so I really want to make sure that we talk about that. The first thing that I wanted to, I said he was the mister, but y'all don't know who's mister he is.
I'm Scott McCrary, her husband, her baby daddy.
He is my baby daddy. That's just my baby daddy.
Oh,
that's just my baby daddy.
Oh,
that's just my baby's daddy.
This is what, 20...
Don't get it wrong.
23 years. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. But I thought he would be a good person to come together and talk to y'all with me. I just think that he would, because we've weathered so many storms. We've been going to the divorce court not once, not twice.
We didn't go to court.
We thought about it. He thought about it. I was ready to go 3 times. This is my show. Don't mess up my show.
You didn't get in the car.
I left him. I took all of my baby stuff. I took all of my stuff and I left. And I came back because I realized he had all the money. But that's another story for another day. That's when I was much younger. Nevertheless, we don't have that problem no more. But I wanted. You're not in the frame. You're not in the frame.
To get in the
what
frame.
are they saying? Donnie Neal, I'm not quite sure who you are, but right now we're not pumping your book or any of that stuff. So I'm about to delete you. So you need not to do that on my thing. Okay. We'll do that another time. Ask for permission. I don't mind supporting anybody, but don't do it right now. All right. I wish I could just delete your thing off of here. All right. There we go. All right. So anyway, the first thing I want to tell you about finding the perfect mate.
Yeah.
Is there ain't no perfect mate.
No, there's not.
One of the things I have found that although as a young girl, I was brought up believing, it was going to be like, Barbie and Ken, until I found that Barbie and Ken were actually brother and sister. Yeah, that's another story for another day. Living as an adult, the fantasies of a child. We'll talk about that on another day. That's the psychologist in me. However, I want to talk about this number one, and that is realize there is no perfect person. But check this out. There's a comma there. There is somebody perfect for you. See, what's perfect for somebody else may not be perfect for me. I have friends, and they would look at a specific gentleman. They say, Tyear, what do you think? I'm like, there is no way in God's green earth I would even say hello to them other than hello, God bless you, bye. But they will fall all over them like they Denzel. Some people think that's another thing. Some people think Denzel is a nice looking man, and for them, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, but that just ain't my flavor. I like them tall and tropical like this. That's just my preference. Some people like super spiritual people. Some people who don't like people that are spiritual at all. Some people like people who don't like kids. Other people like people who are dog and cat people. There is a perfect type of person for you, but you have to realize how to locate that person. And I'm a firm believer that you can't locate that person without first knowing where you are yourself. And so before we get into that, we're going to talk about you. Yeah, you. We're going to talk about you. Because in order for you to find that perfect person, the question you have to ask yourself is, are you ready to be that perfect person for someone else? A lot of people, especially nowadays, that the millennial group, they want to get married because they want the status. I even sat on the plane with somebody last week when I was on my way to New York to work. And I asked him, I said, why did you get married? He said, I got married because I want to have kids. I said, well, how long have you been with your wife? He said, we've been together for 10 years, but I just married her 5 years ago because I figured, her clock was ticking. And I didn't pass judgment out loud. But in my head, I was like, dude, that's not a reason to get married. But if she was okay with it, that's fine, I guess. But for me, that would never work. So you got to find somebody who is on the same page with you, who's ready to move forward when you are ready. But you got to come together for the right reasons, not just to have babies. Because I had a baby and I didn't get married to the person I'm so grateful I did.
And one of the things that they kind of get me with people a lot is that they put so many stipulations on the person that they're
closer to me.
They put so many stipulations on a person that they're looking to be with, but don't want to deal with their own. And it's kind of almost like a cracked glass asking for somebody to pour fine wine in it.
Ooh.
You cracked.
That's okay. For the ghetto part of us, he's the refined part. That's like getting some malt liquor and trying to pour it into Baccarat crystal.
Yeah.
That don't go together.
And so I remember when we met, and there were certain things that you want me to be, and I wasn't at the moment. And God told you to leave me alone. He'll work on me and get me there.
Yeah.
Now.
And I had to be willing to say, that's it. But we're taking them too far into the thing. We're going to finish saying what you're just going to say.
But nobody's perfect. So understand that. Even throughout your marriage, even 23 years of being married, we're still dealing with our imperfections. And those are things that you're just going to have to deal with. But that's when you come to love somebody, you come to like them, and you come to understand that our relationship has a purpose. Then you'll be willing to work through those imperfections. I'm going to tell you something. There are some things what you just need to understand. There's some minute things that we blow up a lot of times that you just need to just throw the towel in on and say, you know what? That's just them. I've got my things. My wife has her things.
What's some of your things?
Making a lot of noise in the morning.
No, that's my thing. I can't stand a lot of noise.
I make a lot of noise in the morning.
He does. He's very loud, and I like it when he leaves so I can have some peace and quiet, or when I leave so I don't have to be around all the noise. They're giving us a hot lot. Thank y'all for the love and for the hearts. We're going to keep it real.
Then she like the heat on today.
And it's 85 degrees. So, but here's the compromise. He ain't perfect. I ain't perfect. He knows that I have my own personal summers. Y'all know if y'all... Okay, we got young people watching.
This is the thing. No, this is the thing. If you go turn the heat on.
Don't tell my business.
Just don't have on a big old fleece onesie.
Did you just tell all of my business to all them people? They think I'm glamorous like this all the time.
A fleece onesie.
Y'all know he ain't telling the truth.
Bunny rabbit, pink.
Y'all know he ain't telling the truth.
Y'all know. Now, Sharice Alfred's on this thing. She's seen that big old
Sharice ain't going to say nothing like that because she's always fly and I'm always fly. I don't know what you're talking about. See, here's the thing. When you are trying to marry that perfect person, this is a perfect example. Don't make up what you want people to believe you are and you're not honest about what you are. Yes, I like sleeping in my fleece onesies.
See, there
yes,
you go.
I do. But every now and then... I'll just leave that to the grown imagination, okay? No, I don't have on fleece onesies all the time. Just when I'm cold and usually about 15, 20 minutes and I shed it off of some shorts and some tank top or something like that. Maybe sometime. But here's the thing. I will go and put on the heater. Here's the other thing. You got to look for the real perfect person for you is going to have perfect imperfections. They are on a journey of discovery. They are on a journey. You got to read these things because I can't see all that. They are on a journey of understanding who they are. And let me tell you something. You have that idea person of what you want to have and what you need and what you got to have when you was 20 and you still going by that list and you know you 40, you know you 35, you know you 50. Sweetie, you need to reevaluate that dang on list because I promise you the things that were important to you when you were in your 20s and your 30s, that's what you wanted. And you get into when you're in your 20s, you know what you want. When you think you know what you want. When you're in your 30s, you think you know what you need. When you get in your 40s, you know what you require. And so you're going to change and you got to give that person room to change and to grow too.
Because it's almost like when I was younger, I wanted a sports car, and I got sports car for certain reasons.
Why was the reason you got a sports car?
They were fleshy reasons.
What was that?
Superficial reasons.
Come on, tell them. This is my audience. This ain't church.
To impress women.
He wanted to impress women.
I was impressing them, but I'm married now. But my thing is, it's almost like that. As you get older, you understand that I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm going to do things for a purpose. There's something bigger. My decisions got to be a lot bigger than appeasing my flesh all the time. And so even when you're trying to find that mate and you want him, this way, this way, this way, this way, and you're up about, and you're getting into, like my wife said, in your 40s, 50s. Now, ladies, if you're trying to be Miss Cougar and go get you one of them dudes that's like 20 years old, then that's a whole nother issue. But I'm talking about...
You want to babysit with a strong back. Yeah. That's all that is. Yeah, Scott, I'm going to keep it straight with you. You want to babysit with a strong back, somebody you can work, you can tell what to do. That ain't no man. That's a boy.
Yeah, he's a boy.
He's a boy.
And you're going to end up raising him. And so, but if you're talking about going to find a man that's your age, then there's going to be some things that you're going to have to compromise on. Mm-hmm. But is a good life more important than the stuff that my wife was just talking about? And so that's where you got to understand. So nobody's going to be perfect.
And the reality of it is, as much as you love yourself, you're not perfect either.
Sure ain't.
I mean, there are areas in my life where I wanted to change, things about me. I went through changes, and I'm not going to get into the
No, just mid-40s. Okay, Val.
I'm not just going to get into the what happened when I was older, because I want to talk to y'all who may not be our age or maybe younger and say, I haven't found Mr. and Mrs. Right, or I don't know who that person is. And so I haven't been able to locate him or her. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Again, the first thing, you got to have a realistic expectation. They're not going to be perfect, because a lot of times, excuse that noise, a lot of times people come into relationships and they want the other person to be perfect, but they themselves ain't perfect. Yeah. How does that work? I mean, that's not fair. And then you hold them to a different standard than you holding yourself. Can we just be real? I mean, I see it all the time. I see men and they want these Coke bottle, shaped women, and you look like you 150 pounds pregnant, months pregnant. Yeah. Unless she just like that huggy bear look, if that's what she liked, then great. But chances are, if you're putting pressure on her, you looking for that woman who is already physically perfect like that, she wants a man whose body looks like Adonis. And so you can't put those stimulations. You want somebody who's going to pray and cover you, but you don't even know a scripture beyond the Lord's Jesus wept. You want somebody who's going to be there and got your back and hold you down, but your idea of going to look for a job is looking on the internet and you never put in an application. For real. Oh, he tried to tell it nicely, but Bishop, you shooting it straight from the hip. Listen, he take your church. This is my pulpit right here. I'm always keep it real.
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper here, and we're in effect.
So what is you?
I'm all of it. Okay, so anyway. Ow! Y'all so sweet. Y'all just y'all know. See, y'all don't get a chance to see all this crazy. J. Carol Grant, we're going to talk about this lady right here. Okay. Yeah, you handle that. Okay, so Angelique, I love me some Angelique. Y'all don't know who she is. She's a brain. So if y'all need something done, y'all go on and make her your friend. But check this out. One of the things when she's before she got to this place in her life she came and she said, I got this list. And it reminded me I had a list. I'm going to tell you what was on my list in just a few minutes when we get down to that number. But I'm going to tell you something else. When I had to realize that the person that I thought I wanted him to be was not who he could be, I realized I was asking him to be a fraud. And there's too many relationships out here that are just as fake as a $2 weave. You got to make sure that you want something authentic, because you can't stay married being a fake, trying to please people, trying to have, a beard. It is too many people there's too many women that I know, especially down here in the South and in that New Jersey, New York area and Detroit area, that are beards. If you don't know what a beard is a woman that is trying to justify the straightness or the heterosexuality of a man that knows that he ain't straight, but he ain't ready to come out to his family and friends. And the same way with women. Women do the same thing. I know I counsel thousands of people, and I understand exactly where they are, but you got to be honest about where you are. You don't want to pick a perfect mate because they make you look good in the pulpit, or because they make you look at the good in the boardroom, or they make you look good on the golf course in your social club. That's not something you want. You want somebody that's going to be there for you, that's going to help you in sickness and in health, till death do you part. You know, no, I'm not going to tell me your testimony. What I'll do is second Tuesday of next month, Anjali, me and you will do the show together, and we'll talk about that. I'll let you share your own testimony, okay? Because I don't want to violate what you have already, what we've talked about privately.
But you don't have a right to try to build people. You know, people are.
It's like build a bear.
Yeah, you
build a boo.
You know, if this is us. If she just allowed me to just tell her what she was going to be, then I would have probably lost all kind of respect for her, and vice versa. One thing about my wife, that she tested me when we first got married. She wanted to see how I was going to stand up, and you know, to things. And yes, you did. Tell them what you did.
What I do?
You know what you did.
What I do? I did a whole lot of stuff.
You do that thing. I'm sitting on the couch.
We wasn't married. We was dating.
I'm sitting on the couch.
I wanted to see if he had a violent tendency, because I came from a household that used to scrap. They would fight. It's 18 brothers and sisters. They fought a lot.
She threw something at me.
I threw a remote control at him because he acted like he didn't want to pay attention to what I was saying. I wasn't trying to hit him.
Yes,
I threw it. No, if I wanted to hit you, I would have hit you straight in your head.
She was trying to hit me.
I was not. I was trying to hit the wall next to him just to kind of scalp him a little bit.
And so,
you know, to let him know that I was serious and to pay attention. Well, I'm not a violent person. We don't fight. We've never fought. We've never had a physical altercation. But I wanted to know, if put in that situation, how would he quickly respond? You know how he responded? He said, listen, I'm not going to ever put my hands on you, but I need you to promise me you ain't going to never do that, and you ain't going to never call me the B word. Are we clear? Ever since then, we've been good in that area.
Bam.
Bam! You know, we are funny.
Bam, bam.
I mean, Anjali said, yes, I did. I did.
She threw it.
I did. I threw it. It was a big one, too. It's one of the mega remotes.
But don't nobody want you trying to build them. They are who they are. How you going to sit there and take somebody who's been that way for 30 years, and all of a sudden you going to tell them you going to fit my mold, or it's over with, or whatever the case may be? You have to, if you don't want your spouse to be themselves, then what do you got them for? That's the whole fun.
Because they look pretty. It's kind of like dressing up a dog.
But that's the whole fun in the relationship, is being able to bring two people together that's got two different ways and work those things out. You know, I don't want to be sitting up and telling Tyear, you gonna be this, you gonna be that, you gonna be that. She's like, okay. See, I would have ran all over her, because I was the most interested man in the world.
He would have got shot, because I'm the interesting Creole in the world, and I would have put him 6 feet under.
If you were a weak woman that just
the overly obliged. Well, you almost thought you had that, because I didn't tell you no for the first year. I just had to get him, make sure he wasn't going nowhere.
She messed up on that one. She told me yeah for everything for about 5 years.
Was it 5 years? I thought it was just 1.
It was a long time. And then one day she's going to tell me.
Will you make me dinner? Yes. Will you do this for me? Yes. Would you go get my kids? Yes. Come closer so they can see all of your face. And so one time
I asked her to give me some of her shrimp. She said,
no. Baby, I'm a foodie. I'm committed to that food thing. You ain't going to. I was a fat girl back then, huh? You ain't going to be sitting there taking my food. Y'all, come on here. Y'all know what that's like when you got that last piece of shrimp. That's not even what we supposed to be talking about.
My face fell off. But anyway. There's no perfect person.
There's no perfect person, and you're not perfect either. So be willing to deal with somebody that's perfectly imperfect, but yet and still they're perfect enough for you. And perfect enough means that there are things that are on your list, which we're going to talk about in just a second, that leave room for change, leave room for accountability, leave room for maturity, but also leave room for that person's individuality, that they don't become necessarily your dream boat. That is not real. That is a fantasy. Ladies specifically, y'all stop acting like these men are fantasy men. They are real. They wake up with morning breath. They feet stink. They have different issues that go on. They pass gas. They scratch. They yell. They do all kinds of stuff. They are grown-up boys. In many cases, they still have those tendencies. They rowdy. Some of them are loud. Not all of them.
I'm loud.
But many of them are. You would think he was quiet, but he ain't. So y'all think I'm the one that talks the most?
I'm very loud.
Okay. So, number 2. Say number 2.
Number 2.
You got to figure out, are you marriage ready? Are you marriage material?
Yeah.
I mean, have you dealt with that past from the hurt from that past relationship? Because a lot of times be like, oh, I'm over them.
Yeah.
I'm over them. I'm never going to, you ain't got to worry about, I'm good. You know, I see them, you know, whatever. I just act like I don't even see them. If you have to act like you don't see a person that you used to have love for, you not over them. If every time you see them on social media, or you wonder, you know, you still got that notification on your phone, or and it still bothers you just to feel that, you're not over them. If you see them out in a business function or something like that, and that's another thing. Don't date people in your office. Ask for a transfer so you can do whatever you need to do. But that makes your money making, you know, position that just compromising. You don't ever want to mess up your coin. But I'm not. So here's okay. See, you just took me off of what I was trying to give a deep revelation. You just messed me up. See. All right, messing up my hair. Anyway, so are you marriage material? Have you dealt with those things? You know, if you are still, you know, trying to avoid that person, here's a great indicator. If their name comes up on your phone and you get that sinking feeling, or you see them with somebody else and all of a sudden you want to talk about the person they with as though the person that they are with messed up your relationship. It may have been, I don't know, but in this case, let's assume that it's not. They've just gone on with their life and you're stuck. You're not ready for a relationship, because going from a hurt position to a new relationship is still going to bring that hurt to that new person. Yeah. And they got to deal with the areas of trying to make you whole. So now instead of being a great friend and getting to know who you are whole, they're getting to know who you are broken and battered. And they have to fix you before they can enjoy you. And that's not fair.
Yeah, you gotta get healed from all of that hurt. Before I met my wife, I had went through a difficult divorce. Me and my ex-wife, we cool and everything now. But prior to that, I went through a difficult divorce. And
you gonna tell all of it?
What?
You went through two difficult divorces.
The first one I was stupid.
You ain't got to make excuses. It just happened.
But you ain't up there two then.
But you need to tell all of it.
I'm just talking about the one.
Okay, I'm his third wife. I said I'm the one he got right.
God. Okay, so. See, now I forgot. Okay, anyway.
Now you.
So, now look. See, man.
Hey, Cardi. Pray for your friend.
But look here. I had to get over all that hurt because I would have brought that into the relationship that I'm in right now. And so, in the same with
but he did not get through all of the hurt, because we got married, and that's on another. We can talk that on another time. We got married 45 days after we met.
But what I'm saying
we did not have room or make room to develop into a good relationship to know each other. And so, about 15 or 20 years later, the relationship started falling apart because we really didn't know each other beyond being caretakers of our parents, caretakers of our children, being pastors, being business partners. We didn't know each other, and we really didn't like each other. And that's when I started off saying we've been through this divorce thing, going on this divorce thing as many times. We didn't have weddings, and we didn't have 3 of them. You know, and so you have to decide, are you really ready? You got to be honest with yourself. You know, you still, carrying, well, they did this to me. And that soon as somebody that comes up in your relationship that says or does something similar, the first thing, oh, you done did that. No, baby, you are still hurt. You not ready. I know you want to be in love. I know you want to have somebody to share your bed with. But you're not ready. Because you're not ready to share your heart with them, because your heart is not whole again.
Yeah, patience always reveals imperfections in yourself and in that other person.
Oh, say that again.
Patience will always reveal the imperfections. Mm-hmm. And the longer you wait, the more you're going to see. And so you'll see it in yourself. So you will even see that you're not ready. Because when that person has done something similar to your last bad relationship, all of a sudden they become that person.
I remember I used to have to tell him, because his relationship was so tumultuous emotionally for him. Although he held it in, and those that saw him probably didn't even think about it. I had to remind him when he would become angry for no reason, because our house at one time, we're telling things that the world knows, so it's no big deal. So we ain't sharing no secrets. It probably just new to y'all because y'all just meeting us or something. I had to remind him, listen, I'm not her. I'm not the enemy. I'm not anybody that's ever did anything to you. Do not make me have to pay the penalty of death to our relationship because you have not reconciled yourself to deal with your past pains. And I had to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I had to do the same thing.
Believe it or not, I had to deal with the self-esteem issues.
Yeah, I had really bad self-esteem. When he met me, I was quiet.
She was, really?
Don't you dare lie.
Y'all believe that?
I was sweet.
Her being quiet?
I was sweet. You used to fuss at me about letting people run over me. Don't lie.
I don't know what
this
happened.
is my show. Don't lie.
I'm a guest.
I know you're a guest, but you're not being a good guest right now.
Yes, I am.
No, you got to tell them the truth.
Okay.
Didn't you tell me I used to let people run?
You were quiet then, but people can't believe you were. Anyway, she had a self-esteem issue, so I used to have to deal with that.
I was a people pleaser.
Yeah, so she's always thought, oh, he's gonna leave me, he's gonna leave me, he's gonna leave me. So it was kind of like I had to walk on pins and eggshells. She had to walk on eggshells, and we were just tiptoeing around each other, and it was all messed up. And so we had to understand that we had to deal with a lot of our own imperfections and things that we had brought into the relationship. That's why I tell you guys, patience reveals the imperfections. Mm-hmm. You got to wait and see what's in you and what's in that other person so that you don't come bringing a whole bunch. Now, every relationship is going to bring some level of junk with it, but don't bring a dump truck full. If you got a little bag, that's okay.
He said, don't bring a dump truck.
But don't bring a dump truck full of junk into your relationship.
Or dung, because they stink and they can smell it coming. And you used to the smell, so you don't know you got crap all over you.
So you got all that stuff you got to deal with. And you don't want to do that. And that's one of the things that we didn't bring a dump truck. We had a lot, but we didn't bring a dump truck full. And so later on, as kids got older and all this other stuff, that's what she was talking about. We saw that we didn't really know each other.
Right.
And then we didn't like each other. So we had to sit down and have a really good conversation. And there was tears involved and a lot of hurt because we weren't trying to hurt each other. But, when you love each other, sometimes those conversations hurt because you see where you're falling short and you really don't want to see yourself in that light. And so we just made a commitment that we was going to give each other 100% of ourselves every day. Not try to do that marriage vow till death do you part, even though that's part of the program. But we said
last time we got married, we say that?
Yeah, but
we didn't say it for rich or for poor because I didn't agree with that part.
Yeah, well, we done been through our poor spells and our rich spells.
No, we wasn't poor. We was po.
Yeah, po. And you're still here, so you didn't have to say it. You just did it. But
I got my come up. We came up together.
Yeah, so we cool now. But what I'm saying is,
cool now?
We had to go through all of those things and then later on try to figure this stuff out. And so it's best to just be patient. Deal with yourself. You know what's wrong with you.
Mm-hmm. You sure do.
You know exactly what's wrong with you. And so you got to stop trying to hide the fact that you still have unforgiveness, that you still have self-esteem issues, that you still ain't over that dude or you still ain't over that girl. So you're trying to get into another relationship and all they got to do is call you and you over to the house that night. So you got to understand, where am I at? What am I dealing with before you start getting involved in another relationship? So what's the next one?
The next one is, be familiar with the real you. You got to be honest about who you are.
Oh, yeah. And I just start talking about that. You got to know who you are. And so Tyear had to know who she was. I had to know who I was. And then if we found out that, who I was not conducive for the relationship, then I had to adjust some things, make some adjustments.
And that's part of the hard time part about being in a relationship. Are you ready to make those adjustments? Because you've been you for all of your life. And now you want somebody else to come in and complete you. Nobody is supposed to complete you. Even in the Bible, it talks about God put two whole people together and they became one. It never said that God put two halves of a people together or a quarter or a third of a person together. And even though you may be there physically, emotionally, you're not present. And so it's very, very important that you are ready, that you are marriage material, because just because you've grown and got a job and you know how to show love don't mean that you're ready to receive love. And that's equally as important. Number 3 and B is are you ready to really love unconditionally? Because when you decide you're going to love unconditionally, that means you're ready to die. Yeah. Yes, I said die. You're going to have to die to what you want or how you want your way all the time. My mother used to say it this way. There's more than one way to kill a cat.
Skin it.
Skin a cat, kill a cat. Well, if you're from my neighborhood, we killed it various ways. Okay. But anyway, there's more than one way to skin a cat. We said kill a cat.
Your mama was country. She probably did say kill a cat.
You talking about my mama?
Talk about your mama.
You need to not talk about my mama. My mama was filled with the Holy Ghost when she died.
She was still country.
After she died, okay. That's another story. Anyway, you got to be really ready to really die. I mean, a lot of people don't like the S word. That's that submission word. It's not that just women, we have to learn how to submit. Men, you got to learn how to submit too. It says, the Bible says, which is why what we build relationship or marriage off of, the covenant that God created with man and woman, they became one. You got to be willing to say, you know what? I'm not going to allow my dreams to die, but I can't allow the only way that I view how to get something done to die. You got to be willing to compromise. That doesn't mean, now let me put a pin in that. When you looking for Mr. and Mrs. Right, that does not mean you compromise what you know you need, you require, what you know is right for you, just so you can say, I got a man, I got a woman. You do not want to do that, because you will be so miserable, because you're living a fantasy, and that fantasy needs to stay on Fantasy Island. That is not real. We living on real lane 1, 2, 5, 6, 7.
But you got to know what your deal breakers are, and that's what she's talking about. You don't compromise, so you got to know what your deal breakers are. And if the person does some things, or they, you got beliefs and things like that you just not getting with, and they want that, and that's a deal breaker for you, then let it be a deal breaker, and be willing to just walk away. You'll be better off doing that instead of going into it. Me and my wife had to counsel somebody some years ago, and the issue of money came up, and it got real bad, and and after we kind of brought all those things out, but about a month later,
they didn't get married,
and I was so happy.
We didn't want them to get married. They were a disaster.
Yeah, because we saw it coming, and so there was we brought up the deal breakers. What are you not gonna deal with?
Like, he could not deal with the fact that she made over $100,000 a year, and he made $27,000 a year.
Let me tell y'all something.
He wanted her to quit her job, didn't he?
Girl, if you made that type of money, I was making 20, I'd be like, yes, thank you, Jesus.
Y'all know
I got to come up.
Y'all know I'm not going to let nobody pimp me. I ain't nobody's.
I would have put my 20 in.
Your 20 ain't good enough. And that's another thing. Y'all over 40, this is your second, third, fourth go round. Stop acting like love is going to get you by. You are old enough and wise enough to know. Move your arm. You old enough and wise enough to know it takes money to function in life. I'm so in love. Love don't pay the gas bill, light bill. Love don't build that house you want. Love don't take you on vacation. Love don't finish putting them kids through school, get you that credit report you're supposed to have, those numbers. Love don't do that. Praying don't all do that either. That takes work. A lot of times we putting stuff on God to do, and God's like, listen, I've given you the ability to get wealth, but if you sit up there picking some chick that all she can do is spend your money, but she adds nothing to you, Let me tell you something. There's a problem with that. One thing about me, when my husband met me, it wasn't about what am I bringing to the table. I had my own table. I invited him to come and sit at my table. And then when he had his own table, and he invited me to come and sit at his table. So now all we had to do was go and buy a banquet hall to hold all our tables.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't do broke. I don't care how fine he is, how much he loved Jesus. I'm not doing broke, and I ain't doing unsaved. That's a deal breaker for me. And we're going to talk about that list. And it's okay to be honest. And this is another thing. A lot of relationships, people are not willing to be honest because they want to make sure that they don't hurt the person's feelings. When you are grown and you enter into a grown relationship, this is not about hurting people's feelings. What's going to hurt a person's feelings is when you're not being honest about what you want, what you need, what you require, and what they want, need, and require, and your ability to be what it is that they need. I call it the law of expectations. You don't have the right to expect me to be some other than, an Instagram thing. Wait a minute. Do you think it's right for you to be able to expect me to be something other than the girl who always buys all the Louboutin and all the hair and ain't got no money in my bank account?
Would I want that?
Would you think that would be fair?
What if you was like buying all that stuff all the time?
Yeah.
And they have no money.
Yeah, wouldn't you have a problem with that?
I have big problems.
That's a deal breaker, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got to deal with those deal breakers. What are your deal breakers? Identify them. Start writing them down. What are the things that you just ain't gonna deal with? Like you can't. I don't want no man that drinks. I don't want no man that smokes. Little puff. I get it. It's medicinal. No, Tyear don't want that. I don't want somebody that's insecure. You know, I'm gonna get into all of that a little bit later,
but okay. So you got to be willing to love unconditionally. One of the things that people know, kind of like the testimony that for those that know us, me and my wife have been going through a lot of things. That's good stuff. And well, she's been sick. I have been, I've gone through some illnesses, and one of the things that, that's when you really love each other, because we're talking about things where, my wife had a stroke. Many of you don't know that she had a stroke, and so she had a couple of them. And so one of her questions was, sweetie, what if it was like really bad and I was paralyzed or whatever? And I was like, I wouldn't change a thing. I would still love you just like I love you right now. It wouldn't matter to me because I love her now. I've learned to love her unconditionally. And so if you're not willing to do that, because I tell my sons now, I said, man, look, if she's selfish, run away from that. Because when you fall or you lose your job or whatever the case may be, she out of there. So my thing is, I ain't got time to be marrying no selfish woman. One of the things
that means when the money ends,
the relationship ends. When if something happened to you, and we talk about the whole thing when it comes to sex. What if something happens to the point where one of you can't have sex anymore and you married? What are you gonna do? You gonna hit the road or to try to have some kind of arrangement or whatever? It's like this. Look, my unconditional love says this: I'm good. I'll have to deal with what I have to deal with. I love you too much to be trying to do something different.
And you gotta have those kind of conversations when you meet a person. That doesn't mean on the first date. And that, can I just interject right there?
Yeah, you'll be asking about how much money they got.
Ladies, gentlemen, when you all go out on the dates, and I tell people all the time, date as many people as you want, but decide who you want to be serious with. Date is just you going out and you're getting acquainted with who they are as a person. That doesn't mean you sleeping with them. That doesn't mean that you offering sexual favors. Yeah. That doesn't mean that, you planning the wedding and, the house on the hill with the Dobermans in the front and the Maybach, or the picket fence and the Colonial with the 2.5 kids. Slow that mess down.
Yep.
Talk to them about where they are financially. Talk to them about their goals. Talk to them about things that matter. See if they have a sense of humor. If they know how to be supportive. See if they know how to listen. I talk a lot, but I'm equally a good listener. Don't play.
So you're listening now.
I did. I looked and I listened. I responded. I stopped what I was doing and responded to what you were saying. That's spicy hot sauce in the purse on me. Okay, so anyway, so check this out. So what I'm saying is you're trying to squeeze my behind?
No, I'm just trying to get in the camera.
Oh, okay. So anyway, when you're dating, you want to make sure that you are dating on purpose. Yeah. That means if you know you're not ready for a relationship to get serious and you just want somebody that you can cuddle up with, that's going to be pretty consistent, say that. Don't get somebody thinking that you want to get into something deep, because when it comes to women and we getting over a certain age, we looking at that tick, 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 and we don't want it to be a boom and all of our eggs turn into powder, and we can't have any children if we don't have any. Or we meet somebody and we want to have their child. So gentlemen, please understand, give us an opportunity to get to know you. Don't be trying to get in our pants. Because one thing I've learned, once you find our heart and you allow our heart to be knitted with you, we'll give you what you want. But you're not going to, but let me say this. Real women, we're not just going to be delving it out like food stamps on the first. We're not doing that. Yeah. We're going to make you work for it. And it is worthy to be worked for, because we are not the sum total of what's in between our legs. We're the sum total of what's in between our rib cage, and that's our heart.
Can I tell you women something about men? We cheap and we love free stuff,
including free coochie.
So if you want to give it to us for free, we'll accept it for free, and we'll never pay for it. You got to make them pay. And what I mean by that, Got to make them show who they are, whether they're going to love you or not, treat you nice. All those things, that's payment. Then eventually, ring goes on the finger. All of that's payment before you go doing anything with anybody, because you cannot expect for you giving somebody something for free and then all of a sudden flip the script on them and say, now you got to pay for it.
Y'all got questions? Y'all can ask some questions.
So ain't nobody.
Yeah, don't be handing out the free cooch and the free, pieces and parts, bats and balls, and y'all gonna sit up there. I know it's not nice to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway. This is my show. And y'all sitting up there, y'all doing all of this, and then all of a sudden you won't, I don't understand why he's not taking me seriously. It's because ladies, he's looking for somebody he can take home to his mother, not just take home to his boys to share nowadays, or take home to his bedroom. A man wants a real woman of substance. He wants somebody that he can confide in, that he can give his ideas and his visions to, and that she will help him birth forth the great things that's on the inside of him. He wants a wife. He don't want no chick. If he wanted a side piece, he could just get a side piece. And that ain't even what this is about.
Before I met my wife, and I'll just be truthful, I had girls all over the place.
He was
all over Tulsa.
Can I say that?
No, you can't say that. No, I wasn't.
He was.
I was the most interested man in the world,
that's a nice way to say it.
Yeah, and so, when I met, I would tell them, relationship ain't going no further than what we doing right here. Y'all just need to understand that. You giving it to me free, it's gonna be free all the time. I'm not paying for nothing. But I
told him you ain't getting nothing without a ring.
When I met Tyear, I respected her. Now, understand this. I was not a womanizer.
No, he wasn't.
We were all in the club.
He was just a frequent flyer.
We were all in the club together. Everybody.
Who was we? We who?
All the people I was with.
Oh, I don't say me. I was a church girl.
So, okay, outside, I wasn't no womanizer. But anyway, the thing was, when I met Tyear, and she started putting all of these stipulations on me.
What'd I tell you?
I can't drink. No smoking.
No, I didn't say you couldn't drink. I said I don't want no man to drink.
Well,
He could do whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to be with me.
I really needed to stop drinking anyway, but that wasn't the reason why I stopped. But what I'm saying is, I respected her more because she stood her ground with me. And that was one of the things that really attracted me to her. I wasn't planning on getting married again.
Especially not in 45 days.
But when I saw some of the...
have me. Oh, yes, God. He did.
Well, that's the story you going with?
You know you had to have me. Stop tripping.
Girl, you chased me down.
You lying and you going straight to hell with gasoline draws on. You need to repent. Repent in front of these people. These people, they know you the pastor. You can't be telling that story.
I just love you so much.
That's his.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
That was number 2. You got to be emotional. Do number 3. Is that number 4? You got to be emotionally mature to deal with your reality. That's some foolishness. Let me stop yelling. Let me be a lady.
It's the truth.
It is not true.
She loved me. Then you love me.
I didn't even know you. I thought you was fine and I wanted to have sex and not go to hell.
Okay. Yeah, so.
But you was nice.
I was very nice.
He was very nice to me. He was great with my son. And you took care of me.
I took care of y'all.
You took care of me?
I handled business.
I was taking care of myself.
But I came in and really took care of you.
He added the whipped cream on my cake. Now, yeah.
Did that come out here?
Yes, you add the whipped cream on my cake. You like strawberry shortcake. The whipped cream on my cake. Oh, you talking about cake.
See,
Cake.
Stop.
Listen, I'm a modern day bishop. Okay, let's not even talk about being a bishop, because right now I am being Tuesday with Tyear. Okay, now whipped cream on my cake. Okay, so anyway, again, you got to be emotionally mature. You can't be asking somebody to be your parent in marriage. They're supposed to be your partner. Number 5, stop making excuses for people because you want to be, like I said, that you're desperate to get married and you know they ain't right. You know she ain't right. You know she a liar. You know she's still doing her mess. You know she got her thing on the side. You know she's not ready to settle down. You know she still like partying. And that's fine. If you like to party with her, that's fine. But you know that she partying more than she with you. You know she's not a good manager with money. You know all of this stuff. You understand that. Wait a minute. She say, I'm done. I'm on the floor. Between the coochie comment and the cake comment, okay, we'll keep moving. But you know that she may not be the right person. You know your mama says she don't like her. Listen, gentlemen. If your mother tell you that something ain't right about that girl, you better listen.
Unless your mama country.
Well, my mama was country.
She liked me though. I'm
My
talking
mama
about
did like
if
you.
your mama's a hot mess and she ain't got no man.
If you listen, if your mama's a hot mess and she ain't got no man, that means she can't get. What if her man died?
No, I ain't talking about that.
Okay. Y'all ever heard of Black China? Black China's mama still turn up. Okay. Now, if your mama's like Black China's mama, she might only like a turn up kind of girl. But if you got a typical mother who wants to see her child, her son, with a good woman, so that when she dies, she ain't got to worry about, is she going to make sure he eat and he all right, You need to listen to your mother or listen to someone. This is important because you may not have your parents around. You need to listen to somebody who can identify a successful relationship. Everybody knows somebody with a dysfunctional relationship, dysfunctional family. That's me, that's you, that's everybody. But the reality of it is you can find people who have functional relationships. Stop going to people who every time they get married or divorced 5 months later, they want to come and give you relationship advice. No. They don't have a license. Their license should be revoked. Yep. Go to somebody who has some longevity. Somebody's been married 10, 15 years. I've been married to this man in a month. We've been married 23 years. Yeah. 23. That's a long time. Yeah. I think I know a little bit something about the idea of finding somebody.
You would be surprised at how many people came to us for help and didn't do nothing we said.
And they ain't married now.
Right now. And that's right, Ed. The truth is what is needed to be effective. That's right.
Absolutely.
Because that's what's needed. It needs to be effective, and the relationship needs to have some purpose to it. It needs to be effective. But don't reject the wisdom. Me and her, we've been in this. We've gone through more hiccups and roadblocks than most people
volcanoes
have.
Falling
and so
in.
When we're telling folks, hey, this is how you do this, we're not just blowing smoke. We're telling you what the real deal is.
Right.
And so. The problem is that the Bible says clearly people were destroyed for what?
Lack of knowledge.
Because they rejected it. And so
it's not that they didn't have it. They made excuses for not taking up the responsibility of saying that's a red flag. Yep. If he won't listen to you, that's a red flag. If she's constantly belittling you and trying to, make it seem as though you're not a man, that's a red flag. Yep. If he don't want to come home at night, that's a red flag. If he not paying the bills and he got money and he got new Timberlands and new tennis shoes on, or he got a new suit and he just bought a new car, new radio set, that's a red flag.
Or he's constantly asking you for money.
Women, do not allow yourself to take care of a man. I understand we all have our different gender roles, and I know this world is changing, but a real man still wants the satisfaction of knowing he can take care of his woman to the degree that he can. Now, I'm not talking about, he give me $200 a month, but you got $5,000 worth of bills or $1,200 worth of bills. That's not it doesn't mean you can't marry him. It just means that he ain't ready.
She don't know about no Black China is.
I do know who Black China is. I knew who Black China is before he and Rod Kardashian knew who Black China was.
Thinks she here.
Please, I know about Black China. That little girl, she is baby. I know exactly what she's doing, and
you on point, ain't you, boo?
She milking that system like it's a.
You on point, ain't you, boo? You know
like it's a dairy farm. Okay, so. Yes, I do know who Black China is, but you have to make sure that you're not making excuses and compromising. Hey, can we deal with this? He gay. Okay. He's sexually fluid. Yes, God can deliver everybody, but there's a fruit of deliverance. She's still a hoe. You know this. Yes, God can deliver, but do you have the patience to wait until the change comes? Oh. The change has to come. Until my changes come. Yes, that's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for that change to come. You don't want to be marrying somebody that's in the infancy of even rediscovering or redefining who they are if they have to rebuild. Yes, okay, they lost all their money, they lost their job, they got to start over. That's fine. Help them build, but don't be talking about, come on, baby, we going to build together and you ain't got nothing to build on and everybody's in quicksand and you about to die because ain't nobody got no stick to get you out.
And do not be getting married for convenience.
No.
What I'm saying by convenience is
go freeze your eggs.
I got bills, you got bills.
Let's bend our bills
together.
together.
Bills together and get married. So what ends up happening is What happens when the bills get paid or don't get paid?
You have not defined your purpose. You
your
don't
purpose,
get married.
No, your purpose is that you gonna help me pay my bills. I'm gonna help you pay your bills.
That's a sugar daddy.
But where is the commitment? Where
That's
is
another
all of
show.
that? That's nothing. You committed to paying bills, but you're not committed to the bigger things.
Because you haven't established what those bigger things are. You don't
and-
even know. You marry for purpose. You don't marry for promise or provision. Let me say that again. You marry for purpose.
Amen.
You do not marry for promise. I'm going to promise you. I'm going to do. And you don't marry for provision for money. Now, I often laugh, and people I know that watch, they be like, you know what? She said, I heard Bishop say, okay, I'm not Bishop on here. I'm just Tyear. She heard, I heard Tyear say, if something ever happened to Pastor, then she going to marry somebody for money. I ain't gonna marry nobody for money, but I promise you he gonna have some money. And I mean a whole lot of some, with more recently dead presidents than the older dead presidents, because those are bigger zeros at the end.
Let's see if something happened to me.
Because I'm not gonna be broke at the prime of my life. The devil is a lie. And you shouldn't either.
Something happened to me, I'm gonna ask God, can I go down there and just mess with everybody? Because see,
I know how to cast the devil out.
she gonna have too much money. And I don't want no dude spending none of my money.
It ain't gonna be his. It's a gift. I'm gonna write him, and he want his money. I'm gonna write him a check for the amount of the money he got. And I'm gonna put the check. And when he's able to get out and to cash that check, he will have his money. But until then, baby, it's all going to be mine. Hallelujah. But are you dying anytime soon?
I ain't dying.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's not harp on that too long.
Well,
That might be, bad confession.
Anyway, let's
all
go.
right. So again, stop making excuses and compromising for them just so that you can, feel the emotional need of being with somebody. And y'all do me a favor. Share this with somebody. Y'all can push the share button and let people know. And thank you for the love. You agree with what we're saying. Let us know how you feeling. If you got questions, just go on and let us know what those are. We're going to ask them right here in real time. We're almost done, as a matter of fact, y'all. We got about 10 more minutes and we're going to be done. Okay, so let's talk about this one. This is really important. Let's set some realistic expectations. Some say stay married for convenience. What's your opinion? No. You don't stay married because you got kids.
You better find out how to love each other and be committed. Because see, convenience only makes you frustrated.
Yes.
Because somebody's giving up something. Somebody's dealing with something that they did not want. And that's what ends up happening. So you're it's just convenience and all of that other stuff. Stay married to them, and they hitting you upside the head, or they cussing you out every day,
or they just mistreating mishandling you.
One thing that me and my wife we rarely do, we will rarely tell somebody you get a divorce. But when there's abusive relationships going on, you got to do what you got to do. I don't recommend that nobody stay in no abusive relationship. I done seen too many physically and emotionally broken women by some poop butt dude who don't know how to be a man, that's dogging her. And next thing you know, she's still stuck there. And not even
for
her
kids' sake.
For her kids, and not even her.
What people are gonna think.
I'm talking about don't take care of themselves no more, looking bad and everything else. And you kind of look at what's the common denominator. That dude.
Deuces. He got to go.
You
got to be strong enough to know that you are more valuable than somebody giving you crumbs. You're more valuable than that. And when you come to that understanding, you got to get a good support system. I know when you're feeling alone like that and isolated in often situations, you're isolated, or at least you feel isolated. You don't feel like you got the strength to fight. You got to pick yourself up, especially when you got kids, because staying in a relationship that is not profitable where it comes to love, respect, and things like that, you're teaching your children how to tolerate foolishness. And a lot of people say you don't get married to be happy. That's a lie. I'm not going to be.
You want to be happy.
I want to be happy. And know that person is not responsible for my happiness.
Correct.
However, I am not going to allow you to make me chronically unhappy because you are emotionally unstable and you're causing me or making me feel as though I got to be a certain way to make you happy or to make you look a certain way. Because I can care less how you look.
But baby, you're not responsible for my happiness. But I should be happy with you.
And if you're not, you either work it out or you get a divorce. That's real talk. And I believe most problems can be worked out because it's a disagreement issue. You disagree on things. It's not only that, okay, it's going so fast now. People are crazy these days. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
Natasha, for those of you been in that kind of relationship and you got some dude that's crazy like that, you got to get up out of there. I done seen some crazy, horrible stuff going on as a pastor. that we've had to deal with some of the women that we've known, and you got to get out of there.
You trying to stick it out, and you know he a crackhead, and you trying to stick it out, you know she doing something. No, you need to walk away and ask the Lord to heal them. Be a support as much as you can, but don't be an enabler, and don't be the punching bag or to continue to allow yourself to be a victim because they haven't become mature in that area. They're not ready to be in a relationship, and you know that's marriage counseling 101, and we'll give you that another day. But I really want to make sure I get through this list. When you're looking for Mr. Right or Miss Right, you want to make sure that you have a realistic expectation and write down what you want, because a lot of times you can meet people and they so fine, or they so this quality, they so that quality, but they lack in the other qualities that are required. You get distracted and you end up settling. And you think you have the right person, and you really, really don't. I mean, here is one of my lists. On my list, I had a long list. I had about 50 things, and God told me, He said, listen, those things ain't important to me. Ask for things that are important to me, and put those in order. Yeah. And the first on my list was, and this will always be, I don't care how many times, God forbid something happened to him or whatever, you know, this will always be my number one. I want a man to love me. I want a man to love God more than he loves me, because the overflow of his love for God will pour out on me, and I'll have everything spiritually that I need happen. Okay, that's number one. I wanted a man that was going to love God more than he loved. Love God more than he loved me. That doesn't mean that he's super spiritual. That means if he knows how to love God right, his relationship with God will teach him how to love me the way I'm supposed to be loved. Okay. This was his. What was yours?
Well, one of mine was character. How you are as a person. You know, and one of the things that I looked at when I met Tyear is that I would look at her character and her lifestyle. You know, I saw my wife. She was single at the time. She was taking care of her baby. She was taking care of her mother. She was going to school, and she was also working. And I looked at that, and that was more attractive to me than her body and how she looked in the face.
I was fine.
She's fine. Oh yeah.
Yes, I was fine.
You had it, didn't you? You sure did. Yeah.
Did he just put me in past tense? Lies.
No.
You said you had it. You didn't say I still got it.
I'm talking about. See, you just done blow the whole thing now. But anyway,
you said, Tim, you talk about the pedophiles that prey on single mothers with kids.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about that.
We're gonna go back to the list in just a second.
Yeah. Okay. The character. Okay. One of the things.
Well, character was important to me.
Yeah, because my
that was number 2 for me. He had to have exemplary character. I checked his credit. I checked his credit. I called his friends. I knew the people who he was around. I talked to his ex-wife. I talked to his sister. I talked to his mama. I said the ex-wife. I knew the ex-wife before I knew him. I talk to everybody. I run a background check. I want to know, do you have something other than a parking ticket? We need to discuss that, because if you got a felony, you talking about I didn't do it, I ain't do it. I'm sorry. I'll let the next chick figure that out, because what you're not going to do, I was a single mom. So listen, sweetie, I understand. I had to deal with all kinds. And wasn't that one of the first questions I asked you? I said, are you gay?
Yeah. Now you
and do you like children? And are you a pedophile? Yeah.
Do not bring no guy around your kids. I recommend that they don't have a relationship with them or nothing
until 6 months.
To 6 months, almost to a year. None of that stuff.
They can know you have them, but they don't need to have association with them.
Yeah, because first of all, pedophiles know how to hide.
Yeah.
They hide that stuff really, really good. And so you're taking your chances regardless when you bring another man into the situation. But I said patience always reveals the imperfection. It reveals deceitfulness.
Yes, it does.
Be patient. Don't let them around your kids. Don't have them kids calling them daddy and all this other kind of foolishness, and uncle and whatever the case may be.
That's Mr. Some, so and so and so and so. So just in case you need to get rid of the Mr. or just because you need, just in case, because there's women pedophiles too. And just in case you need to get rid of them, because some people can be abusive towards your children. They can smile and be sweet while you around and make cookies, but when them kids is left with them, they doing all kinds of stuff to them.
Because one of the things that she did, I didn't know it. I had her son one day, and she was peeking around the corner through the other room when he was getting changed. We were getting ready to go somewhere, and they wanted to see she wanted to see how I was gonna act. And what did I do? I gave him his clothes, and I turned my back, and I went out the door, because I didn't want her to even think that I was even that type of guy. I wasn't sitting there doing no other kind of crazy stuff. So she knew that I was the kind of person that she can trust with her son when we were in that relationship. And so you gotta watch these guys, because you see a whole lot of weak women who love these dudes so much, and this dude is doing all this stuff to these babies for years.
And they don't know how to say anything.
And they don't know how to say nothing.
Or you don't believe them when they say something, you know. And so let's go back to the list. So character was number 2 for me. I wanted them to be generous. I don't deal with people. I'm a very generous person. I'm a giver. I love to give. I love to help people. And I could not deal with somebody who had a problem with the philanthropic things that I wanted to be involved in, or try to control my money, or try to control our money, or, you know, you can't tithe, or I can't give to, you know, to every good work. You know, one of the things about us, in our cars, we have money in our cars. And this is not so people can come and just steal. No, that's not what I'm saying. We have money in our car, so when we drive up and we see the homeless and they may be somewhere, we always have money so we can give to every good work. A selfish person ain't going, why you doing that? That's money I could be spending on our... No, that's a red flag for me.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
When we start talking about the generosity part, when I was serious about our relationship...
Which was day 1?
Okay, yeah, it was day 1. You were just that fine. I just had to have you after day 1. That's the story we're going with.
That's the story we're going to always go with.
And so, I wasn't trying to buy anything, but when I saw her not having money or needed certain things, I made it happen. And I still make it happen. I listen to what my wife says. She don't have to ask. I listen to conversations. See, generous people listen to conversations. They listen to people with vision. So every time my wife is just talking, and it could be, man, I wish I had some chips. I'll make it happen. Chips it is.
Can whatever. We go to McDonald's and get a frozen lemonade.
You know, they line up at the corner.
Okay, that's all right. We go to
the
one that's 24 hours.
But you got to make sure that the person is generous, and not just the guy, ladies. You got to be generous as well.
When you go to the mall, they may not want something simple as buy him some socks, buy him some underwear, buy him some cologne. Yeah. You know, if he likes flowers, bring him flowers. You know, go give him a gift certificate. Go give him, you know, a day at the spa if that's what he's into. You know, if not, you know, give him a day at the golf club. Maybe one of the golf clubs, one of him and his friends. Or, you know, consider giving him a ticket to a sporting event. You know, even if you don't have the money, save up. Just those little things to let him know that he matters. Or if that's not what he's into, make him dinner when he doesn't expect it. Run his bath water at least once in your, you know, relationship. That stuff comes after you get married. We talking about marriage stuff. We ain't
but no, you could be generous during dating.
No, don't run him no bath water when you dating.
No bath water stuff. I'm talking about one time we went out to eat, and my girl picked up the tab. I was like, yes, I
still pick up the tab.
I was like, I'm a kept man.
Not all the time.
I'm a kept man now. I'm a kept man. No, I'm just joking. She picked the tab up. I was like...
And when I met him, check this out. And I was tested because when we got married, he burned down my house.
Burn it down. Burnt that down.
Okay, we've been married a couple months. He burnt it down. Thank God I had insurance.
Players. Fire.
And so I was a very smart businesswoman. I always have been. And I had a lot of money as a result. It was very, very, very insured. And I had a lot of designer clothes. And so they had to pay up a lot of stuff. And the first thing I did was, even though we had been married a couple of months, I could have said, you know what? Because he was worried that I was going to leave him. He was really worried I was going to put him out because it was my house he was living in. We decided I didn't want to live in his house. I wanted to live in my house. Okay, so let me explain that. So he could get me a house if he chose to. All right, I just had my own. Needless to say, when the house caught on fire, I had this money and I had this. I decided, hey, you need a whole new wardrobe. He got about $40,000. I gave it to him. He wasn't entitled to it. He wasn't on that insurance. But I understood as my husband, I had to be willing to make the adjustments and not just say, well, this is just for me and my son and my mother. And, you know, forget you. You a man. You take care of it. You the reason why. No. That conversation never came up. It was like, you know what? Let's rebuild together. That's the important thing. When you're looking for somebody to be a mate, you need to find somebody you can build with. Somebody, I'm not talking about necessarily necessarily from the ground up, because at a certain pages and places in life, you should have certain things accomplished. Those are foundational things to springboard up. You know, when you're in your 30s, you know, you should be working on your first house, if not your second, you know, investment property. There's certain things there's certain milestones you should be at to ensure your success, and specifically to ensure your security when you retire. But there were certain things, and so I understood at that point we had lost everything but the clothes on our back and the car we had. But we understood what to do, and we built from there together. It was like God gave us a clean slate. His company then bought what was left of the house. We got it fixed up. I got it fixed up, and we got out. The house got purchased, and we have been building ever since. We built, you know, I won't say multi-million-dollar businesses, but we've built businesses that are very close. You know, we've done a lot of things together. We built ministries together. We learned how to build together. And it wasn't about his way or my way. It's about what's the best way. Yeah. And sometimes we didn't know, so we tried every way. And it just worked out. And we listened to the voice of God. Now, let's get back to this list. So he had character. He had lifestyle.
And conversation. Whew. Women, I need y'all to understand this. Yeah, I know men don't like no woman who cussing at him and all this other stuff. That right there, you gonna lose him.
You don't tell no man you ain't.
Yeah, you're gonna lose him. And so the conversation that we have, I told her flat out, these are the things I don't want you to ever say to me. I'm never gonna say these things to you. And so it was all of that. And so, you know, you got to make sure that this. Can I say this? And I know it may rub a lot of women the wrong way. You shouldn't have to be a strong woman. When people say,
you shouldn't have to show your strength all the time.
But that's what I'm talking about. The kind that says, I don't need you. That may be a fact. You may not need him, but that ain't something you need to be throwing up in his face either. Because
he don't need you either.
The more you say, I don't need you, I can do this by myself, you go get exactly what you are saying. Yeah, you got a job and you got a career, and yeah, you can't do it on your own. But when you're in a covenant relationship, you need each other. And so, yeah, all this, you know, when you say, I'm a strong woman or whatever, you got to understand, yeah, you may be strong, but you got to understand it's a way to convey that.
Yeah.
A man will love to see a woman who's strong when she can pray for somebody, pray for him, or pray for their family, and those type of things, not throwing up in his face like, you know, I don't need when he don't do something you want. I'm a strong woman. You can't be da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And you got to remember, the men that you choose or the women you choose, they're the product of your intelligent choice. So if you don't like it, that's because you chose wrong. So you need to adjust how you choose and what the criteria is for your choices. The next thing is, I wanted my husband, the man that I chose, I wanted him to be professional. I didn't come from a broke family. I wanted him to have some type of career goals that were beyond just, you know, the norm for me. And that was my choice. Everybody's norm is different. So I'm not telling you got to go out and find somebody to make 6 figures, because you may not find that, but that doesn't mean that he's not a great guy. Yep. You know, so you don't want to pass it. Doesn't mean that she's not a great girl. One thing I found out about for women, men are not necessarily looking for somebody who are their financial equal, but they are looking for somebody that they can provide and take care of. That is one of their marks of manhood. So you don't want to take that away from them. And we'll talk about marriage on another time, not today. But I just want to make sure we stick to this thing. Now, the other part, one of the other thing was important to me, I had to make sure that he treated me and my son well. He could not be the kind of person who would not, you know, he cannot be the kind of person who would not consider my feelings above his own. You cannot be a selfish person talking about you want to find the right person. You know, they got a child. You got to think about them and the child. You don't just buy them shoes or buy the kids shoes and don't think about the girlfriend or the boyfriend. You know, you got to be there for everybody. And if you cannot swing that, you're not ready. And it's okay. Do what you need to do to position yourself to be ready. The next thing was important to me, that he was supportive and that he was confident. He knew his role. I don't want no man. I got to teach you how to be a man. I don't want to teach you how to love me. And I don't want to have to teach you how to be supportive to me. It's It's got to be something that's on the inside. I need to know and feel like you're going to protect me, that you're not going to allow somebody just to handle me the wrong way. You know, even if there's a confrontation, and my husband and I, we go places and people, they have, you know, tried to grab at me and stuff like that. He ain't letting that happen. You know, none of the men that I'm around, none of my brothers, I have a lot of male friends, and we'll talk about that on another day too. I have a lot of male friends, but they're like brothers to me. They're going to make me feel protected. I'm not going to be around no man. I raised my sons to be that way. Women, don't be around no man that you don't feel protected around. You don't want to have to be afraid, but you want to make sure that when you're going somewhere, that you don't feel like you got to fight your battle and have to be a man about it. I want to always be a feminine woman. I want to be dainty sometimes, and I don't want to have to worry about, am I going to be safe? You know, you hear a bump in the night, he telling you, you need to go see who it is. You sit on the couch, you Netflix and trying to think if you going to chill or not, and you hear something, he telling you need to go look at it. No, that's not the kind of man, you know, he's scared to do everything and anything. That ain't no man. He still got some areas he need to grow up in. You need to know that you feel secure. I needed to know he would be supportive and not try to dumb me down because the world might say, or what he does for a living says, you need to have you a showpiece. I was a showpiece girlfriend. I'm not interested in being a showpiece for nobody. If I am a showpiece, it's because I earned it, I worked for it, and you can appreciate it. The Bible talks about how the Proverbs 31 woman, how her husband was praised at the city gate. It's not because he was a perfect guy, not because he did everything right, but because she handled her business well. She ran her home well. She ran her relationships well. And that means that he was supporting her. He wasn't there talking about, oh, she ain't nothing. You know, I'm the man of the house. That wasn't recorded in Proverbs 31.
Let me tell you something. In ministry, my wife is more popular than me. I don't care. That's for her.
He not insecure.
And I push her out there. Whatever it is you say God wants you to do, or you just want to do on your own, I push you out there.
And he'll finance it. He'll write a check.
And I'm supportive. Because look, I ain't even tripping. Whatever she do, it's going to always benefit me.
It's going to reflect on him.
Yeah. So I don't look at it as she's outshadowing me or whatever the case may be. She get more speaking engagement than I do and all that stuff. I don't even care. Handle your business. Go and do your thing. A lot of times I'm with her when she's gone to these places. But I don't care because I am supportive. And man, just be supportive of your wife. And I want to go back to one thing you said about it. And we almost got to go. It's about being a listener. I was telling somebody the other day. Matter of fact, it was my son. And I told him, I said, look, man, if you don't listen, somebody else will listen.
If you don't listen to your
woman, somebody else is going to listen. And I was explaining to him how women are more emotional than we are. We're more physical. We just want to be cut and dry, boom, boom, boom. Well, if your woman or wants, you know, she's emotional and she wants you to listen to her, then just listen. Because if you say, oh, you know, ain't you tripping or I ain't got time for that, somebody's going to listen to her. Either it's another guy or it could be another girlfriend. Somebody's going to get that time. And you can't be getting all mad when it comes to the fact that you want her time and now she's on the phone with somebody else. You never talk to her. And that goes the other way also. Yeah. Because sometimes women...
Them office wives, they'll take your place in a minute.
Yeah, they sure will. And while you sit...
He got an office wife, but she knows her role. Yeah. And they love me. And they know his wife
my office wife
ain't playing.
And we joke about this. They know who she is.
And they send me flowers, and they check on me when I'm sick.
They send her stuff.
I get Christmas gifts every year.
That stuff. So I ain't got no other side pieces on my job or none of that other goofy stuff. But what I'm saying is, nobody's going to get that time. Me and my wife went through a season where where it was kind of messed up, and that happened. My
ex-husband was insecure about in ministry, and he was the bishop. Yeah. Oftentimes, you know what I found in that, when you're dating somebody in ministry, you got to decide, ask him just point blank, you want to be the star, or can we share this? Can we share the spotlight together? Yeah. Because we're in a generation that, especially in the black church, we celebritize our pastors, and they can't handle it. And many times they've never been any, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, they've never been anything great in other arenas. That this is the only place that they're honored or made to feel as though they're important, and they feel threatened by what you bring to the table. Yeah. So they just want you to sit there and be a Barbie doll and just say yes and wear pretty hats and nice suits, but they treat you like a dog.
I told my wife, it's just downright sexy to me when I see her headed out saying, I got a business meeting. that I'm getting ready to go to. I'm like, girl, go.
And check this out. He ain't insecure. He knows that I sit down and I talk to millionaire men all the time. And he knows how men are. He knows that they can be dogs. But here's the thing. I choose what I want to do. And when I'm choosing that I'm going to be committed. I'm choosing that I'm in this relationship. I'm making the choice. And that's the thing. When you're looking for somebody, you want to find somebody who can show you trustworthiness consistently. You know, one of the things, the other thing that was important to me is that he was attentive and that, like I said, that he was a great sounding board. He had to be able and be willing to listen. Men always want to fix. They don't always want to listen. But you had to teach them. It's almost like training them because they know automatically if you tell me a problem, I want to fix it. Now, you got some men who don't want to fix no solution. They looking at you like, well, what you going to do? That's not the kind of man for me. I'm sorry. I got to have a man that is a solutionist. That is a sign of strength to me. And if you don't have a solution and I'm coming up with a solution, what you're telling me subconsciously is that you want me to lead you. And that's out of order. When the husband is out of place, the wife is misplaced. And when the wife is misplaced, the children, they can't even find an identifier as to who they're supposed to look up to. Remember, those of you who have children, your children are watching to see your choices. Make sure you get these choices right. And yes, you're going to kiss a couple of frogs. You know, I remember one of Pastor Scott's things was I had my own home when I met him. He wanted to know if my house was dirty. I mean, you see some of these girls that come in and they all cute and they fine when they go out, and honey, as soon as you come through the house, you can't even get the door open.
I ain't interested in you all, done up with Louboutin shoes on and Gucci purses and all that other kind of stuff. Then I walk into your house and it looked like a tornado done went around in that joker.
Or you don't know how to cook anything but boiling water and you burn that.
And I'm not saying that may sound petty to most people, but it's like this: if you're more concerned by how you look and not how your life looks, then you got some issues going on, and I may not be willing to deal with them or not. And so my thing is, I looked at that, and so my wife, when I met her, house was straight.
I can cook.
She can cook.
I can cook for
all those
sure
things.
now.
And so, hey, if you don't know how to cook, we're not telling you that you gotta be in. We ain't telling you that women gotta be in the kitchen. But you should know how to cook.
And if you don't know how to cook, you need to at least know how to order food and be able to pay for it, because now you're asking him to spend money that he could be spending on something else. And that was another thing. He needed to know I was a good money manager. A lot of people look at me and say she's high maintenance. I'm not. I hate shopping.
Not high maintenance.
I'm not high maintenance. I don't like shopping. I've never stole money out of my husband's wallet and tried. I don't do that. If I'm going to spend money, we're going to spend over $300. We communicate about it. I'm the first one that says, go buy it, and tell him to do it. But I don't want to go buy nothing. I am one of the cheapest people you'll ever meet. But I also am blessed to have people who give things to me so that I don't have to always purchase. And so for that, to those of you who do that, thank you so much. But I am not that person. So my husband didn't have to worry about me managing money. I mean, I remember one time we went shopping and I think I had about $10,000 in my wallet. And he got mad because I didn't want to spend $85 on a pair of pants. Well, I knew the pants was only worth $35. It didn't matter how much money I had. It was the fact that I want to be a good steward over my money. And that has to be something that's simple like this. I'm not going to go and spend $150 on a concert ticket knowing that my light bill is $150 and I'm going to pray that God fix it. No, if I already owe that money, it's not for me to go and rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm not a robber.
Yeah, because when I met her, she had all of her bills and she was living by herself, but she would have her bills posted on her refrigerator.
So I would know what day to pay them.
Know what day to pay them. And so when we met and I was serious, I'm like, okay, give me that bill and give me that bill. So it was the highest one, and I just went ahead and just boom, 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 took care of them bills. And so, but I saw her managing. She didn't have a abundance of money, but she had enough. But I saw her managing her household well as a single mother who was taking care of an invalid, a single mother taking care of an invalid mother who was bound to a wheelchair.
And paying my way through college.
And paying her way through college.
No
and working.
And no child support.
And all of this. And when I saw that, I was like, man, that's the one right there.
I gotta have her.
No, I'm straight up. Now, she said she had to have me too, but, it was mutual. She's still saying it. Thank you, baby. So, anyway, but
Thank y'all for holding on so long.
But you know, and then I looked at how you treat people. If you treat the closest people to you bad, then I got to question how you gonna really treat me.
Yeah.
And so women, find out how that man treats his mama and his sisters and all of them.
Because everybody can be on their best behavior when they first meet you. That's what we tell you. Slow down in meeting people. I know it's hard. You want to fall in love, but time will be your best friend. Trust me, it will reveal everything. Patience will be your best friend. And I'm going to tell you, this is the last thing I want to tell you real quick. Do not fall in love with the concept of a wedding and you have not spent time developing the character to be a husband and or a wife. Yep. You got to marry for a purpose. You don't marry for a wedding. You marry for a purpose. You need to know what is it that you all are going to get accomplished. What are your goals and dreams? Are you compatible? Do you work well with my family? Do I get along with the in-laws? All of these things. You want to make sure that you have the person that is, like we started off saying, perfect for you. They're going to be perfectly imperfect, but they're going to be perfect for you. So don't be captivated by the fantasy of I want to be in a relationship. You be captivated by the idea that I can be the best person I can be. And when I offer the best version of me to the right person, they're going to be made better and I'm going to be made better as a result of my intelligent choice.
Remember, nobody's responsible for your happiness, but you should be happy with them.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, I just want to tell you, thank you so much. Do me a favor again. Go and share this. Join me next Tuesday with Tuesdays with Tyear at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Please share this with people that you know, people that are in relationships. And if you got any questions or anything, any topics you want me to cover, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it relevant. I'm going to talk about things that matter to your heart and matter to the issues that are about, you know, that are around our world. And so we're going to talk about everything. I don't know if I'm going to let you come back. I have to see how people review you and tell me how you did. You think you should come back?
Don't y'all like me? Say you like me. I need some hearts. Put some hearts on there for Scott.
There's no hearts.
I don't see no hearts yet.
Okay, there's one. There's a
finger, thumb up.
That's what they got. They got thumbs up and they got hearts. Thumb. You got one thumb.
That was it. That's all I get.
Okay, can we touch on the issue of it's illogical to have $300 shoes, $10 in the bank account? Yeah, you want to go to a conference and find your mate and have nothing to bring to the table, depending on him to fix your lifestyle.
That's right. Yeah. That's a good one, LaDonna. That's a great one.
Wait. She said that. Can you touch on that issue? It is illogical.
It is.
That ain't your. If you want to go to sugar daddies or us, then do that. But if you're looking for somebody for real,
I need somebody to pay my bills.
Then you need a job. You need a job. That's what you need to do. You need a job. You can go to every place. And I'm all for online dating. Before I got married, I online dated. Shoot. I had a great relationship for somebody that was online. Really nice person. But he wasn't who I wanted to marry.
She didn't ask me for a dime.
I never had. Have I ever? Well, I asked you now.
No, we were dating. You never asked me for a dime.
I think it took me years before I asked you for anything.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, because because you burned the house and we had plenty of money.
But once we got married, you would ask me for money.
I did.
Especially when I got all them promotions, you would ask me for lots of money.
Well, that came like 3-4 years after. I don't recall ever asking
me for money.
I didn't ask him for anything the first 3-4 years of our marriage. I didn't ask him for any money. No, I think that's accurate. I mean, I would ask you to go to the grocery store or something like that.
But I was always buying stuff.
Right. I never had to ask you for anything. I never had to ask you for anything.
Well, that's even better.
But yeah, I just wanted to tell all of you all, thank you so much again for hanging on with us. It's been a long broadcast, as long as usually it's only 45 minutes, but I brought him on and he asked twice the time. But I hope you enjoyed what we said tonight. I hope everything was good for you. I thank you so much. I'm glad you loved it. I'm glad it was great. Hey, Carrie, how you doing? Yeah, go online and try to reach out. Last thing I needed to say this. Reach out. Find people. Let people introduce. If you're ready to love, ask people, your friends, to introduce you to quality people. Some of the best people that you will ever meet come as a referral because they know what you need. They've heard your stories. And don't be afraid to try something new. Don't sit around waiting in church for some man to pop up for you. Don't do it. You'll be sitting there looking like a skeleton with a doily on your head and a lap cloth and a Bible on your lap that would have outlived your flesh. Let me help you understand something. Go out. It's okay for women to approach men. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to introduce yourself. It's okay to go to mixers. It's okay to go to networking events. It's okay. Go to the places that you know the type of man that you want to be involved with, or the type of woman you want to be involved with. Those are things they would frequent. If it's charity events, if it's whatever, they give me lots of love and lots of hearts, all of that stuff. Hello, you two are all right with me. Have a good night. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that one right there, Carrie Pope. He went out on a limb. He did it unconventionally. I introduced him to his beautiful wife, Rebecca, and they are living a happily ever after life. And it's because he did not stay in the box. She didn't stay in the box, and both of them were ready for love after a divorce. You got to be ready. But when you are ready, you will find and attract what you are ready for. You will find out if you're attracting the wrong person is because you're making the wrong choices and you are attracting where you are. So make something change in your life, and you will see the change in your relationships. Well, I'll catch you next Tuesday with Tuesdays with Tyear, same time, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Y'all share this. Y'all be blessed on purpose. Bye.